Hello everyone and welcome to the Shenanigans. Today we are following up with our previous video from Sunday. We're going to finish assembling this squad of the new Guardsmen. I did go through my existing army just to see what special weapons I already had in place and decide which one I wanted to put for this squad, and I think I'm going to do the sniper rifle. Not that it's going to be the most effective on the tabletop, honestly. The sniper rifle in the hands of Guardsmen really is not that effective of a weapon in the tabletop, but I think for more aesthetic purposes, because I already have a plasma gun squad, I already have a melt-gun squad, I have a grenade launcher squad, a flamer squad, so I think just to kind of round everything out, we're going to give the special weapons person the sniper rifle. One thing I noticed with the sniper rifle here is it does have a little bit extra detail on it. It looks like it has kill tallies on the side of it there, which is pretty cool, and a bipod actually. It might be a monopod. Yeah, but definitely some cool details on these new pieces. Again, this is the new sprue that they just released this year. The other sprues in this kit are the same as they've been since 2005. But definitely a lot of detail, a lot of cool helmet options too. I think I'm going to give the sniper the sort of ghillie-looking helmet there. Take some time to paint that up special as well. A lot of good helmet options too. Like this one here is going to be good for the Vox Caster. I'm not sure about the Sergeant head yet, but I think for the Sergeant I'm going to give him the bolt gun there. And I'm still going back and forth on the power sword versus the chain sword. Power swords did get a boost in 9th edition, so they actually do give a strength bonus now, whereas previously they just were user strength, which really didn't do anything for anybody. Even Space Marines, it still wasn't a good idea to take a power sword compared to like a power fist or something. But now they added that strength bonus, power swords are much more combat effective. You do still get the double attacks with chain swords, so it's something to consider as well. But yeah, so I'm gonna get these cut out real quick. Now I don't believe I might actually need to grab the instructions because I don't think I looked very clearly at which hands go with what. Oh, I bet that is it. Yeah, because there's only one arm, so I bet that's the arm that goes with the special weapons there. Cool, that makes this nice and simple. Like I said, with the old kit, with the regular las rifles and stuff like that, they are labeled so that you have the las rifle and then the arm that goes with it, so that they can hold it in different poses, but you do want to match those up. Otherwise, you're going to have a hard time fitting the pieces together. Alright then, so let's get this cut out. Oops, it's not in focus there, not on screen. I used to be good at this, as far as getting it on screen when I'm cutting it. But, like I said, it's been a while. Nice. That fell over there. Alright, and then we'll get to the other arm. Yoink. Yoink. Alright. So that is the arms for the sniper. And while I'm at it, you know what? Let's cut out the arms for the sergeant as well. I think we are going to do the power sword again. I just love the look of the power sword as well. Like, this is kind of a nice, big, like, flat blade, almost like a machete. There's all sorts of different power sword models. I really like the one for, oh gosh, it was the Black Library model for 2018, I think. It was Commissar Severina Rain. She has more of like a saber-style power sword, which looks really, really cool. That was his sword, and then, yeah, we want the bolt gun. Because if I remember correctly, bolt guns cost the same as bolt pistols, point-wise. So why on earth would you not just take the bolt gun itself? Because the bolt gun is rapid fire, strength 4, AP 0, damage 1, if I remember correctly. Whereas a bolt pistol is pistol, you only get one shot. The only advantage to the pistol is that you would be able to fire it if the squad is in melee. But that's why we have the power sword, right? Alright, so we've got those arms there. Cool, cool. So that takes care of the sergeant and the sniper. I'm going to cut out their heads as well. Like I said, when I'm doing assemblies for squads like this, I try to get all the parts cut out in one time. And that way, I can just set the clippers aside, and I don't have to worry about cutting out any additional pieces. Where was the... Yeah, we want to get the radio guy's head as well. I definitely like having a distinct Vox Caster model. The Command Squad kit actually comes with some really nice pieces for that, if you want to have like a more distinct looking Vox Caster soldier. There's also, I mean, there's tons of cool pieces in that kit still. I'm kind of hoping they do an update like they did with this one to give it a little more like decorative options. But like I said, that's where you used to get all these special weapon options like the melt-a-gun, the plasma gun, everything like that. That was also how you would build like a company commander as far as having an HQ unit. Don't want to give him... You know what? We're going to give this sergeant a cap. Yeah, there's a nice sergeant-looking cap here. That'll do nicely. Again, just adds a little extra flair to your squads. Makes it harder to paint, of course, but and other than that, there are a lot of cool heads in this kit. I don't really think I showed them off too well last time. Oops, there goes the camera. But they have a lot more details than the standard one does. They have, you know, goggles and respirators. That guy looks like he's got like a bandana or something over his face, screaming. As well as the helmetless heads. There's a lot of different hairstyles and things like that. They included a lot of hairstyles to make them look more like females as well. So if you want to have, you know, mixed gender units, because if you know Guardsmen, they don't really care, male, female, whoever, as long as you can pick up a las rifle and shoot, they're happy. So they had a lot of cool options. It's really kind of nice to see too, because, and you know, this is kind of a touchy subject with some 40k enthusiasts, but the game has been very much like a boys club for a long time, and it's kind of nice to see that they are trying at least to make it a little more appealing to you know, women. But yeah, they still have a long ways to go, let's be honest. Although Sisters Battle have always been a cool army. I would play mine more, but they got smashed, unfortunately. And that's a long story. Let's not get into that. Anyways, so we got the gear cut out for the sergeant. Put his gear over there. For the special weapons expert. We got the head cut out for the radio guy. I'll put him over there. But now we just have to get all the other las guns cut out. So we have we have 2 that don't need las guns, which means we have 8 that do. So let's work on getting those las guns cut out. Like I said, on the sprue here, they do have all these special weapons and stuff, but then the las guns are all labeled as far as like, okay, so if I want to use this las gun G, we want to make sure that we pair it with arm G as well. And again, because there are 2 of the same sprues in here, you do have 2 of each piece. So you can have 2 identical troopers for each of these if you want to, or you can mix and match. I usually like to mix and match from different squads that I have just to kind of add a little variety. But you can also glue the arms in a slightly different position as well. They don't have to be exactly the same as all the other ones. Just makes it a little bit easier sometimes, though. Oops, gotta cut out the battery pack. Alright, there we go. Alright, cool. So that's going to be... Yeah, radio guy. Radio guy's going to have his bayonet already attached because he's fumbling with the radio. He's not going to have time to attach his bayonet if he gets in a pinch. So radio man's going to have his bayonet good to go. Alright. And you can add other stuff like ammo packs, canteens, backpacks, and things like that to the squad. The kit includes a ton of extra bits like that. For quickly assembling them, though, I'm not going to bother with that right now. I can do that on my own time. But I just kind of wanted to quickly show you guys how to do some of this stuff. So we'll get the rest of these las guns cut out. Again, there are options with bayonets, without bayonets, so you can mix and match as you please. Just again, you want to make sure that you keep the matching arm pairs together. So that was the arm for Bravo. This was the las gun for Bravo. So we're going to move you over there. Give you your las gun. Give you your arm. And you can organize however you want. This is just how I do it when I'm organizing it. So I'll keep the correct arm pieces together with the head that I want to use for that specific body and just kind of go down the line. Just kind of like an assembly line, you know. It's easier for bigger squads like this to do something like that where it's just an assembly line. You don't have to really think too hard. If you're doing like either individual models or more detailed models like Space Marines where you want to have like some more flourish, you know, you can change it up there, but like I said, these are just Guardsmen. They're the cannon fodder of the Imperium, so I don't spend too much time customizing them or anything like that. Just want to get the pieces cut out. I'm not gonna lie, guys, this has really gotten me excited to play again. Yeah, yeah, if you're in the Daytona area, or even Orlando probably, I'm definitely down to start playing again. I'd have to have a refresher on 9th edition, just because it's been a while, and 9th edition rules didn't really make sense when they came out, for the most part. Well, some of the rules did, some of them didn't, but I'm hoping, again, that when the new Guardsman Codex comes out, whenever that is, hopefully the Guardsmen will get some pretty cool rules. I know they've made pretty good changes to a lot of the factions, as far as when their 9th edition codex has come out. They've made good changes for Space Marines, of course, but everyone else has gotten their codex so far. Cool, so that sprue's done. And yes, I do hang on to all my extra bits, just for future use if I ever need to. I think the majority of them are in a storage box right now, but just because you never know when you're going to need extra bits. Like one time I had a friend who was building a dreadnought for Space Marines, but he wanted to do the twin autocannon. And I don't even know which kit that comes with, but it didn't come with the kit he had bought, because there's like 3 or 4 different dreadnought kits. So what he did was he took one of the, because it's one of the Layman Russ options is a autocannon, or a twin autocannon. So basically what he did is he took the turret gun from that kit, because I didn't use it for one of mine, and cut it down to size and fit it in where it would go on the dreadnought, which was pretty awesome. It's pretty cool stuff. That guy did some amazing things with kit bashing. Took his time painting as well. He had he was playing Blood Ravens, and that one of the dreadnoughts he did had the chain fist. I don't think that's the right term. It's basically like a big chainsaw instead of the dreadnought fist, and he used some of the Blood for the Blood God as a technical paint, and just the way it dries, it just looks like it's wet, and it was gross a bit, but it was pretty awesome. It looked really good. If you guys know me or watched any of my 40k stuff, you know I'm pretty lazy when it comes to painting, so I just do the 3-inch rule is what I call it. So as long as it looks, or excuse me, the 3-foot rule, as long as it looks good from 3 feet away, I'm happy. I would put more time and attention to detail in the painting, but I just don't have the time or the patience for it. And honestly, with a lot of the newer models, because they put so much detail into it, as long as you get your shading like pretty good, the details pop on their own. You don't really have to put too much effort into highlighting and anything like that. And the contrast paints are okay for that. I've had mixed results with different contrast paints, like the what was it, like the Blood Angels Red or whatever it was, actually came out really well. But the Apothecary White, I think that's what it was called, that one, for whatever reason, just did not really work the way I was hoping it would. Yeah, which was a little disappointing, but it is what it is. Is that... Oh yeah, I forgot to give... Wait, that's the Sergeant body. I think I cut out too many lasguns. I did cut out too many lasguns, guys. Here I am talking, getting distracted. I cut out too many lasguns. Okay. Yeah, we don't need that one, because that's going to be the special weapons guy. Okay, cool. Never mind. I'm gabbing away. Alright, cool. Well, that's alright then. So I have an extra lasgun cut out, but that's fine. I'll put it in a Ziploc baggie with all the other pieces. Let's see what else we've got here. So we can do... Oh, yeah, that's right, because they do have... So this is the original... Let's see if I can get that on here. Vox Caster head, which looks pretty cool, don't get me wrong. But I do kind of like the newer helmet with the more streamlined version of the Vox microphone and all that, so I'm probably going to use that. Again, these older heads, they look good, they just don't have the same level of detail, so it's kind of dependent on what you want to do for your models. If you want to have the more detailed heads, which are obviously going to be a little more difficult to paint, or you can do the more basic ones like this. Doesn't make a huge difference, you know, it's a matter of personal opinion. And again, for me, I always go the lazier route when it comes to painting, so I'm just going to cut out a bunch of the old heads and use those. And yeah, they are pretty generous as far as the extra bits that come with these kits. Like I said, they have a lot of extra weapons, a lot of extra backpacks, and just decorations. I think it's the heavy weapons kit that comes with like actual sandbags. So I have some extras of those that I can put on the bases. And I usually do that for the heavy weapons to give them like something to prop up against, just because it makes more sense to do it that way. But you can also put them on your guardsmen as instead. Let's see here. I think that's 1, 2, 3. I need 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's get 4 more. Oops, I did not cut the other part of that sprue. Alright. And again, helmets, guys. I know, like, sergeants and stuff are technically not supposed to wear their helmet because they have plot armor, but I don't know, I like my people having helmets on. It makes me feel a little bit better when I throw them into battle and they inevitably die. It's like, well, you were wearing a helmet, you had a chance. You blew it, but you had a chance. Again, with Guardsmen, you're going to have casualties. So there's no two ways about it. Even if you win, you're going to have casualties. Guardsmen are not a very durable army, but that's not the point of them. The point of them is they're a large army that can take objectives, hold down positions, and generally just harass the enemy with fire. Like I said, getting 40 Guardsmen up the field with las guns, it's a lot of firepower. Doesn't do a lot of damage, but it sure as hell will annoy your enemy. Alright, so we have everything cut out. Let's start assembling it. Now, when it comes to assembling them, once you have the legs and the body, the torso, glued in place and they're pretty stable, you can usually do the arms and the head and backpacks and stuff like that right then and there. Because really that's the only thing that you have to wait for, is you want to wait for the body to be steady, because that way it won't move when you're trying to glue stuff to it. Now you do want to make sure, as you can see, there's a little bit of extra plastic there, so I'm going to have to try and snip that off. I do have my mold line remover. I've never had good luck using it, though. Usually I just try and snip it off a bit if I can. And again, the Guardsman models are honestly pretty lenient as far as fitting together, even if there is still a little bit of extra plastic in the way. Some of the Space Marine models, like, you need to get it like perfectly smooth, otherwise you're just going to have a rough time. So let's get... I can smell the glue. If you can smell the glue, it means it's flowing, right? There it is. Alright, so we'll get some glue there. Get some glue there. And we'll get some glue there. Yeah, like I said, the torsos have not changed at all. Those are exactly the same as they've been. I should probably put some glue on this other arm too. So we're going to set that in place. We're only going to hold that there for a few seconds just to give it a nice light seal, because we don't want it to be fixed in place yet, because we still got to affix the other arm, and we want to make sure that we have the ability to do that. Okay. So this arm goes like so. There we go. Cool. So now that's all tentatively in place. And like I said, the thing I like about the Games Workshop glue, the Citadel glue, is it does start to hold pretty quick. It's still very malleable at this point, so if you need to make adjustments, it's very easy to do so, but also, as you can see, I'm not holding onto those pieces at all. They're staying in place pretty well. Now let me get the head in place. And we're going to make it so that he's kind of aiming down sight. Not quite, because I don't know if I can bend that. Well, maybe I can. Look at that. Okay, so that's not quite aiming down sight, but that's not bad at all. And ta-da! We have a sniper rifle guardsman. That's actually pretty cool. Like I said, I love the detail on these new pieces. Like the helmet has the ghillie kind of covering on it, and then the las rifle, or long las, excuse me, has the kill marks on it. I like that a lot. You know, Games Workshop, obviously, you know, the models are expensive, but you do get what you pay for. They're very, very high quality. You get a lot of detail on them. Man, sorry. It's been, like I said, it's been a while since I've assembled a 40K kit, and this is definitely Oh, bringing back some good memories. All right. So let's get the sergeant put together. Actually, I think I cut that one out pretty well. I don't think I need to cut any of the extra bits off there. Come on, glute, work with me. And again, now that the torso is pretty solidly affixed to the legs, you don't have to worry too much about moving it and stuff. If you need to move it, for me it's been a couple days, so I would probably want to use a solvent to break it apart. Because if you try to twist it manually, it might just break the model actually. So you want to be careful with that. Let's see. Yeah, we're going to have him with his sword up because he's issuing commands. Bolt gun. Gonna be at the side, yeah. Where's the... There we go. Nice. And then we'll put his actual head on. Stick that back on there a bit. Perfect. Look at that. He looks like he's ready to charge into battle. Is that a cigar? I thought that was a Vox bead. Oh, that's funny. He's got a cigar. I thought that was a Vox bead, like to communicate. No, that's a cigar. That's funny. I love that. And they're just, you know, like I said, the level of detail in this new kit, it continues to amaze me. All right, now let's get everyone else together. And more or less, this is going to be the same thing over and over again, so feel free to fast forward or anything like that. I don't think I'm going to be providing much in the way of colorful commentary. The process, again, is basically the same. Just put some glue on it, and then set the pieces in place. The las guns, like I said, are a little tricky just because you want to make sure that you line up the arms correctly. But as long as you, like I said, you cut them out and match them up with their pair, they should fit relatively easily. And usually you do want to put some glue on the las gun itself, or on the arm piece at least where the las gun goes. Is your arm supposed to go up that high? Seems a little high there, bud. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Whoops. That's all right. All right. Where did the other arm go? There it is. All right. We'll fix him. We'll get him fixed. Oops. Come back. Like I said, the glue is fast acting as far as getting a good, like, early seal on it, but you do have time to maneuver the pieces around. And Guardsmen are not the easiest kit to put together, but they are one of the easier kits, certainly. Like I said, most of the Space Marine kits are pretty straightforward as far as like intercessors go. There we go. And then the helmet. Ah, your head doesn't bend that way. Cool. So there we go. We got a Vox Caster, ready to report positions, call down artillery strikes and whatnot. Like I said, for tabletop rules, it's important to have a Vox Caster in your units because that allows the commands to go further, so they can be further away from the company commander or whoever is the one issuing the orders. Pardon me. And that helps you spread your army out a little more. You don't want to spread Guardsmen out too far out, though, because again, they do kind of rely on one another. They are a very like numbers-based army, so you want to make sure that they have support. But it's good to again give them the space to operate as they need to. You want to be able to spread them out, capture objectives, and things like that. That's generally how you win playing Guardsmen. You generally don't win through strength of arms, just because again, I think the only ones who are on par with Guardsmen for casualties are probably Tau, maybe. But even then, they don't really take that many casualties. Tyranids do, but Tyranids don't care. They're a hive mind. Alright, a generic Guardsman. Las rifle, and that's about it. They do have frag grenades as well. If I remember correctly, there's either a order or a stratagem to allow us an entire squad to throw grenades instead of just one person. which would be bloody terrifying when you think about it, having a squad rush up, throw 10 grenades. Even though they're Guardsman frag grenades, so they're, I think, strength 3. That's a lot of DACA. Probability statistics and all that. Some of those are going to hit, and some of those are going to wound, certainly. So, and that's really all it is with Guardsmen. It's a numbers game. You just want to get as many shots on target as possible, because the more shots you get, the more likely you are to get wounds, and the more wounds you get, the more likely you are to actually deal damage. Yeah, as far as infantry go, Guardsmen really, they're not the greatest, but there's lots of them. Kind of like the Soviet Union in World War II. They didn't really have the best trained soldiers, but they sure as hell had a lot of them. All right. There we go. And it's all coming together. So we're about halfway there, making good progress. And like I said, this is why we cut out all the pieces ahead of time, because then it's just an assembly line, so you can kind of get into a pattern, just muscle memory. You don't really have to think too hard about what you're doing. Just apply the glue, put the pieces in place, and you're good to go. Get in there. So I realized too, I probably don't need my face cam for these videos, because really the important part is the models themselves and how I'm assembling them. But I don't want to change my setup. It's too much effort. I'm lazy. You know me, guys. I do everything the easy way. Bam. All right. That's number 6. Getting close. Now I really want to get like a nice character figure or something to assemble. It's been a while since I've had a good character. Like I said, I really wish that they would introduce a new Dante model. He desperately needs a new model. Like the new Mephiston model. I talked about this in the last part of the video. The new Mephiston model is just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful if you haven't had a chance to see it yet, but they definitely need to do a new Dante model. And I know the reason for the Mephiston model was because he became Primaris. Okay, cool, that's fine. And so far, at least, Dante's probably not going to be becoming Primaris. Son of a gun. But even if he doesn't, he still needs a new model, because his old model, it still kind of looks good, but you can definitely tell it's just like it was a metal model at one point, and they were reusing the cast for resin, and it just doesn't come out quite as smooth as you would like. Also, these arms are not sticking in place very well. Eek. Come on now. Oh. There we go. Good enough. Good enough is my motto. Again, I would like to paint better, but I don't have the particular patience or desire to actually learn to paint better. Just because it takes a lot more time, a lot more effort and energy, and I work. I have a job. I don't do this full time. I would love to, but gotta pay the bills, right? I'd always hope that YouTube would take off and I could just do that instead, but it's not likely to ever happen. But that's okay. That's okay. Everything happens exactly the way it's supposed to happen, right? So we just gotta take the hand we're dealt and run with it. Come on now. There we go. Lasguns, guys, if you're wondering, they're basically glorified laser pointers. That's really about it. Yes, they can technically kill you, but you gotta try really hard to kill something with a lasgun. Especially in, the 40k universe where everything is designed to kill you. Yeah, lasguns are not the greatest invention. But don't let the commissar hear you say that. There's a reason Space Marines use bolt guns. Let's put it that way. There's even the reason you commissars use bolt guns too. Although some use plasma pistols. I think actually one of my commissars is modeled with a plasma pistol. Not really for any practical purpose, just because plasma pistols, obviously are only one shot. But I don't know. I like the idea of plasma guns. I think they're pretty neat. Oh, that just jacked up his arm. There it goes. Alright, and one left. The final Guardsman. I actually did have one game I played where I literally just had the sergeant from a squad of Guardsmen. Somehow he survived, he didn't fail his morale check, and he continued fighting throughout the rest of the battle. I genuinely could not tell you how that happened because, again, he's a Guardsman, so he's got a 5-up armor save and 4s to hit. So he's not exactly winning any fights there, but somehow he survived. I have strange luck with sergeants in this game. I had a similar situation with a intercessor sergeant who went toe-to-toe with a demon prince. Or not a demon prince, or maybe it is demon prince, yeah. And for, I don't know, 3 full battle rounds maybe, he just went toe-to-toe with this guy by himself. And somehow he didn't die until like the very end of the game. That was quite something. But anyways, guys, so here we are. We have finished assembling everybody. Like I said, I think this is going to be a nice loadout, especially since they gave the buff to power swords, so now they do actually give a strength bonus. That'll make it a little bit easier to wound with them, and compensate for the fact that you don't get 2 attacks like you do with the chain swords. Then he's got the bolt rifle as well, or bolt gun, so he's doing good. And then we've got our ghillie man. I do wish that they had an actual sniper kit. They do have an old metal one, I think. I don't know if it's still in the store or not. And I wish they would just retire all of the old metal models and come out with new plastic kits, but obviously that costs money and time, and they don't want to do that. Because I would love to have like a dedicated sniper squad in my Guardsman instead of just, putting one in a regular Guardsman squad. But anyways, I'm not going to show off all the models. You saw them as I was assembling them, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Again, I'm very pleased with this new Guardsman kit, even if it is just a single sprue that they added. Having all of the special weapon options, having the additional detail on some of these newer pieces, I definitely think is worth it to buy the newer kits. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Yeah, like I said, sorry it got split into 2 different videos, but I had a short amount of time on Sunday to record and didn't quite know what I wanted to do yet, so... anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you all in the next video.